So in this video I'm going to show you how to make your own sinking alcohol inks to create pieces like this. Absolutely stunning. Let's go. Right, we are back. So I've been asked this question a few times since I've started my channel, is can we make our own sinker inks? So you can buy opaque inks, there is a set that lets Resin do, but I've been asked a few times, can we actually make them? And yes, we can. So all we're going to be using, I mean, if you've got the twin CD set, this will be ideal. But if not, I mean, you do get two of the small bottles, this size, in the alcohol ink set. But I mean, I would suggest having these bigger bottles. But as always, really make sure you shake these up before you decant them. So I'm going to be using, I've got loads of these 10mm needle tip precision bottles, and you could label them up, but I'm not going to bother doing that. I'm just going to, for the purpose of the video, just show you how you do this, and we're going to get some crazy results. So, as most of you already know, this is my Sinker White, which is this, already in this bottle. I'm just going to use this because it's in a smaller container or bottle, so I can easily shake that up. It's got ball bearings in there to disturb any of the pigments that are on the bottom, and I can then squeeze that into these bottles. And we all know this sinks already. This is already a sinker, so we're already going to get those effects. You can see I've got some tissue down just in case I make a mess. So it really is this simple. You just squirt some of the sea deeper or the Sinker White into your needle tip bottle. Now, if you want to go filling it up, that's up to you, but you're going to need more colour. So I'm just going to fill, I'm not going to do every colour that's in the set, but I'm just going to fill some of these needle tip bottles up, and then I'm going to add the alcohol ink afterwards. And always make sure that you put the tips over, because what will happen is the alcohol ink will evaporate through the nozzle. And then just to make our lives easier, these are 4mm ball bearings, and I'm just going to pop one inside each bottle just so the pigments don't stick at the bottom. So now comes the part where we can pick our colours from the sets. Doesn't matter which brand, but remember, these hold up best in the sunlight. So what you're going to find is they're going to be a pastel colour, but the good thing with this is that we can mix some of the colours as long as they're not going to muddy or clash. We can mix colours together to create new colours. So you just add a few drops at a time, give it a shake up, and just see what you get. If you want it to be a bit stronger, add a few more drops. And we are essentially creating our own alcohol inks to the colours that we want. It's a bit different to adding your colours to your work and then adding the sinker over the top, and they will spread differently in the resin also. So that one was magenta, and I mean, it doesn't look magenta now, but you can add more if you want to. Now we have azure blue, just the normal yellow, purplish red, dark magenta, emerald green, that red. I always have trouble pronouncing that one, but you can see the red's a kind of tricky one to get because it does like to go orange. I just gave it another shot and it's gone a bit more red. And the last one is a midnight blue. I wanted a slightly darker blue than the azure. So those are all my colours mixed up, ready to go. And we are of course using the club resin. I have found is better for the Petri effect. But if you're suffering still with blobs, check out #22. There's some great tips in there just to help. You might have a different sinker, you might have Pinata, which will sink deeper. Check that video out if you're still having issues. Right, so you will see with your opaque inks now, your sinker inks, you still need to shake them up before you use them, just to make sure, because the pigments do settle pretty quickly. Let's see what they spread like. I can't remember the colours that I've used now. But but you can always make a note of them so that you don't forget. I'm not going to show every single one. I will of course show you what we get. I'll show this one. I'm just dropping different colours that aren't going to clash when they touch. So yellow would be a good one with this one. And then we're still going to leave our pieces until the resin becomes tacky before we stir them. If we want more colour, we can just go in again with a bit more. And the good thing about these precision tips is you really can be so precise and just add the colours. Of course they're going to spread, that's the alcohol content, but you've got a lot more control with our ink dropping. Look at those colours. And as always, massive shout out to my channel members, thank you very much. And to anyone who's bought me a coffee or a super thanks. And to anyone new who subscribed. It is free to subscribe to my channel. There is no cost. So be sure to hit that button. So I'm just going in some of the... I might add a black background to some. You know what I'm like. I just can't help myself. Now these are going to be stunning. Okay, so it's been around about 1 hour now. So I'm going to do my usual stairs. I'm not going to show them all again. You've seen it in all my previous videos. If not, go and check them all out. And then what I'll do is if I do add a black background to some of them, it will just be a black alcohol ink. And I'll do that in about another half an hour. Right, so we're all set. And before we start demolding, quick update. I did touch on this earlier about Let's Resin alcohol inks being the best for sunfast. So most of my channel members will remember, or subscribers will remember, last year I did a sun fade test. So we are now at 11 months. This one has been outside on a window ledge in direct sunlight for roughly 7 hours a day for a whole really blasting hot summer last year, and well, up until now. So 11 months. And this is the one that's been inside, and you can see the colours weren't exactly the same anyway because they merged and created that green, but that one's outside, this one's inside. And here are another two. You can see the elements have been raining upon them. And so let me just give that a quick rub just to see if the resin has actually changed at all. Not overly. The colours are still there, still as vibrant after all that time. The resin, I can't see it's yellowed really. It's a little bit, I think most of that is surface abrasion, to be honest with you. Like I say, where it's been rained on or whatnot for so long. Right, so I did mention about mixing colours. Now what you could do is when you've got, say, two of your colours already done, what you could do is use your mould. Now just be careful it doesn't stain. They shouldn't because they're opaque, so they're diluted down. You can add 1 drop of one colour and then 1 drop of another and see what they create before you mix them. So you could basically create your own palette of different coloured alcohol inks to your taste. So that has gone like a nice lavender colour. And then when you're done, just suck it up with some tissue and then clean your mould afterwards. It'll be as good as new. Right, let's see what we've got. So I've done a few with the black backgrounds. As you can see, I just can't help myself. I've done a couple of testers down here off the back of video 126, where I created some crazy Petri effects. We'll start with those. So I did my colours and then poured resin over the top, and they've gone really smoky. Not the same as the previous video where I tried it, but it's still pretty cool. Now I must say as well, I did turn my heat mat on, so I might have 1 or 2 blobs because I'm being impatient. And I did go in with some of them with more than 1 drop of the ink. So I added my inks and then went back to it and dropped inks over them again, the same colours. So I'm probably going to get some depth, some different depths to these pieces in areas. Oh, look at that. And these are more vibrant than the opaque inks that you can buy that already contain the sinker. It's really good. And you can just grab them, shake them and drop them. You haven't got to worry about introducing your white afterwards and spreading and merging different colours. It can make our life a bit easier. Oh, look at that. And to my channel members, tier 1 and tier 2, I will get some macro of these over the weekend and put them in the membership only tab. Be sure to keep your eyes open for them. Look at those little spores. Little people dancing. As always, give the video a thumbs up, drop me a comment if you haven't subscribed. Again, it is free. Hit that button for me. My goal was 50,000 subs by the end of this year, and we're going to smash that. We're not far off that already. Look at that. Really nice spores. More black than colour. Well, I suppose it's a 50-50, isn't it? There's some really nice colours. Let's go with the one next to it. Wow. Look at that. There's some nice subtle still areas in there as well. I love it when that happens. Don't ask me why. It just sometimes happens. It is really, really nice. Again, we've got some spores. I don't think they're blobbed. Very close though. Let's go with the teardrops. Doing both at the same time. Otherwise it's going to be another one of those very long demolds. Ah, see, I really like that one. Again, we've got a really nice still area with the blue. I'm not so fond of that one. Definitely prefer this one. But you can play about with them as much as possible. As much as possible? Play with them as much as you want. Wow. I really am surprised that the colours are so strong. A couple of tiny blobs would have touched, but I did go in heavy. So begin with just 1 drop of each colour and just see what happens. If you need to add more, add more. Some really good detail in that one. Really good depth. We know what we're saving till last, don't we? Wow, it's like a marble. Oh, look at that. See, this reminds me of the feathering that you get with pigment pastes. Look at those. That is incredible. And that is so clear. That's my favourite so far. Let's go with the one next to it. That is so cool. Is that a line? I say this a lot. It reminds me of like lines of people queuing up. Sometimes I get some really good macro shots with these. It's like a little still area. It's like a little lake. That is cool. Let's go with the big round ones. Wow, that colour is so strong. A couple of spores there. Reaching up. It's like a hand reaching up. That is crazy. Yeah, so definitely needle tip bottles and sinker white and add your colours. And away you go. That is phenomenal. Right, where do we go next? Let's go with the hearts. Let's go with the hearts. Wow, I've almost got the bird head in the middle. Kind of looks like an eagle with its beak coming down. So close. I've had it a few times. It's very tricky to get. It happens when it wants to happen. That is really nice. Let's go with the one next to it. Oh, we've got some deeper spores on this one. Again, I went in with quite a bit on some of them, but not all of them, just to see what we could get. Not overly keen on the black backgrounds with these, but they're not horrible. Let's go with this one. It's nice. It's really nice. Got some depth. It's very balanced, I think. The black and the colour. Would like to have seen a bit more of the blue up here showing through, but it's the first time I've actually put this into what's the word? Action. Right, last one. Is it a showstopper? I don't know. It's really good. But for me, I think the round ones are really doing it for me. Really cool effect still though. Right. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to interact with it, help with the algorithms. And yeah, I will see you for the next one. Bye for now.